out here today gonna plant the rest of my garden. So I'm just gonna show you how to prepare garlic and how to plant it. I got my garlic seed from Peaceful Valley, and I wanted to try a bunch of different types of garlic this year because I've only grown some softneck before. So I wanted to try the hardneck, I wanted to try shallots. My wife loves the elephant garlic because it's so easy to peel and chop up. And you get so much more garlic. What I have here, I have 1 head of elephant, 3 heads of early white softneck, 3 heads of music hardneck, 3 heads of Russian red, and 3 of French red shallots. There's 2 main kinds of garlic. There is the soft neck and the hard neck. Now, you're gonna recognize the soft neck because that's what we buy in the store all the time. And this is the hard neck. And as you can see, it actually has a hard, quote, neck, right? So the major differences between these 2 types. The hard neck is said to have a more complex garlic flavor. So if you're into heirloom vegetables or, rare fruit, or just you love trying new food, highly recommend trying the hard neck. The soft neck, you're gonna know, especially the white kind, you know what it tastes like. You've had it your whole life probably. The other major difference, the hard neck will not last as long in storage as a soft neck. Soft necks will last 9 to 12 months depending on how well you store it, and a hard neck will last about 4 months, they say. After you're harvesting, you probably would want to eat through your hard necks first and then move on to your soft necks later on. So this is my first time growing a hard neck. So yeah, I'm really interested to see if there's a real difference between the 2 during growth. Just for reference, so these were 2, this is a white soft neck and a white hard neck. This is a red hard neck. You can see it right there. All right, so that's how you tell the difference, and those are some of the major things that you'd want to know about. What you're gonna do is break apart the cloves. So you can think of each individual clove as 1 seed. Now, the bottom dried out part, usually you cut this off, right, when you're gonna cook with it. This is where the roots will come out of. So this should be placed soil down. The kind of speared end here, this is where the first sprout will come up and will turn into the garlic plant. Okay, so each one of these is 1 little seed. So what I'm gonna do is separate all of these. Be very careful when you're separating them to leave the outer covering intact. It may still work if it's partially exposed. The plant will probably be fine, but there's just a higher risk the clove just not making it. Okay, so I'll break all these apart. The excess husk, it can just come off, it's okay. So here is just another shot of the hard neck. And I've pulled off all the cloves surrounding it, so I just wanted you to see kind of a close-up view of it. It's very stiff and hard. It's kind of interesting. And if you've got some garlic seed that comes off, they're a little bit smaller and weaker, maybe they're a little soft. If you have the space, go for it, try to plant them. But I would just eat this. I don't think it's worth planting. The bigger the clove, the more chance that this garlic is going to develop into a really healthy, nice plant. The garlic seed that you want to save for the next season is not going to look like this. You want to have a plumper bulb. Okay, and I'm going to put these in my bucket. I'm going to do that for all of my garlic and shallots, and then I'll show you what I'm going to add to this bucket. This is an optional step, but is one that a lot of gardeners and farmers recommend. I think it does help a little bit, but it's not necessary. So if you don't have the materials or you don't want to take the time, just go ahead and plant the garlic. So a lot of growers, they will use kelp and baking soda, and they'll add a few tablespoons of each, and this gives the plants bacteria, minerals, nutrients, and just like a good start to get them really healthy in the beginning. I do not have kelp fertilizer right now, but I do have some worm tea. So I'm just going to use that as a replacement. Since worm tea, it'll be an inoculant of bacteria, and it does have vitamin and mineral content. So it's a good replacement for kelp. So I'm going to just add a tiny bit of my worm tea. You need about a 1-to-10 ratio worm tea to water. That's plenty. All right, and then I'm gonna let these sit in the shade for an hour or two. 2 hours is probably good. And then I can plant them. While my garlic is soaking, I'm gonna prepare all the holes. There is a special tool that you can buy. I don't own it, but it's basically like a little hole punch for the soil. But I'm just gonna use a stick as a replacement. You could use your fingers as well. But what you wanna do is dig a hole that is, 2 to 3 inches deep, because you're gonna place the garlic in there, and you need to have it 1 to 2 inches of soil on the top, depending on the bulb size. If it's a large bulb, then closer to 2 inches on top. If it's elephant garlic, then definitely 2 inches of soil on top. So the spacing is about, you want to have the plants spaced 6 to 8 inches apart for regular sized garlic. The rows can be about 2 inches apart. If you want to give them a little more space, you could, but I'm trying to get the maximum amount of plants in here. So I'm going to do the closer spacing. For elephant garlic, they recommend 8 to 10 inches in between each plant. And for my elephant garlic, because it is going to get bigger, I will be placing it on the furthest north side of my bed, since that will grow the tallest, so that the elephant garlic doesn't shade out the rest of my garlic. The rest are all about the same size, so it doesn't matter. All right, I'm gonna set up all my holes. Next, we'll be placing the garlic. On a side note, if you're gonna have mulch on top, it's better to maybe add the mulch after you plant. But I was setting up this lasagna bed, letting it settle, and I wanted to hold on the moisture, so that's why I had it in the first place. And I was just thinking about it. I want to get rid of the straw first before I set up all my holes. Just move it out of the way so that it's easier to cover this up with soil and not just a bunch of straw. So here we go. I'm gonna check out these elephants. They're insane. Look at the comparison in size. So these ones are going at the furthest north row. They're so darn big, I gotta really dig down a deeper hole. Because these things are so dang big, I can't get them deep enough. But that's okay. They've got about 1.5 inches of soil. I want to get them to 3. So what I'll do at the end is, I'll bring in some of my good soil, and I'll add a little inch layer on top of all these garlic to get that extra soil depth. And when you plant garlic, always, always, always remember, the end with the tip is where the plant is going to start growing out. And if you've ever had garlic long enough sitting on your kitchen table, you will eventually see it sprout. So that's where it's going to sprout from. The flat, dry side is where the roots will come out. So it will go into the ground like so. It's okay to, if your hole wasn't deep enough, to kind of press it down to get it deeper. It's good to have the garlic nice and snug in there. Okay, for these smaller cloves, you want no more than 2 inches of cover, 1 to 2 inches.